Indigenous Medicinal Plants in Academia. We have compiled a number of resources for grade 11 and 12 biology on the topic of incorporating traditional medicinal knowledge and practices within Western medicine. We feel that on the rare occasion that Aboriginal perspectives are included in high-level science classes, they are portrayed as outdated knowledge, which does not and cannot contribute to anything of substance to the rigorous experiment-based discipline. We wanted to find a resource that included Indigenous perspectives in a scientific-based study. However, we were unable to find such a resource, so we created one. We wanted to show students cases where Aboriginal traditional knowledge and modern science come together to make meaningful discoveries in the field of medicine, with both contributing something the other cannot. 3 of the resources are journal articles concerned with putting plant medicines traditionally used by Indigenous people around the world through scientific trials with the hope of finding compounds that can be used for widespread treatment or preventative medicine. The other 2 resources explore the cultural perspectives of the integration of traditional medicine and Western medicine practices based on first-hand studies with Aboriginal populations and interviews, as well as extensive collaboration between various stakeholders for the World Health Organization. This collection will present students with cases where traditional medicinal Aboriginal knowledge has pharmaceutical application based on credible scientific studies, as well as the relevance and importance of traditional medicine throughout various cultures and societies. These resources could be used during any of the human body units in Biology 20 or 30, as diseases treated by traditional plant medicines affect many bodies. The resources can also be used to address the technology and society component of the program of studies by providing students societal context in healthcare regulation and innovation, thereby introducing an interdisciplinary aspect. The first article in the resource is titled Negotiating Health and Identity, Lay Healing, Medicinal Plants, and Indigenous Healthscapes in Highland, Peru. This article discusses perspectives on Indigenous medicinal plants, medicine, and the integration of use into Western medicine. We thought this article could be useful for providing context for advancing technologies, as well as social connections to the curriculum. The second article in our resource, titled Antimalarial and Antivectorial Activities of Traditionally Used Indigenous Medicinal Plants, discusses specific antimalarial activity of several active components in 3 medicinal plants traditionally used in certain regions of India by Indigenous people. This article may be a helpful resource for understanding biological action of antimalarial medicines in a more complex disease-related orientation, in addition to contextual importance in healthcare economy. The third article in our resource is titled The Canadian Medicinal Plants Heracleum Maximum Contains Antimycobacterial Dienes and Furanocoumarins. This is a study on the specific antibacterial activity and relevance of a traditional Canadian Indigenous medicinal plant. We thought this could be useful for comprehending medical research, pathogen treatment understanding, as well as understanding highly academic language. The fourth article in our resource is titled Traditional Use of Medicinal Plants in the Boreal Forest of Canada, Review and Perspectives. This study is on Indigenous medicinal plants in Boreal Canada. It includes the documentation, correlation of traditional and pharmaceutical use, medicinal properties, and different perspectives on their future use and research. This could be helpful for Canadian connections to the land and understanding prevalence and relevance of medicinal plants and ethnobotany. This is also a useful tool for teaching the important aspect of understanding future uses and future research that needs to be done in the field. The fifth and final article in our resource is a World Health Organization Traditional Medicine Strategy Plan for 2014 to 2023. This action plan is currently in implementation and involves an understanding of traditional medicines, including Indigenous medicinal plants, into healthcare practices throughout the world. This could be useful for teaching students an understanding of the current direction of world societies and the inclusion of important traditional medicines in government-supported healthcare, benefiting those who require it. Overall, these resources as either group work or class-guided reading could be really interesting to teach to a class of grade 11s or 12s. It could easily fit into the curriculum as a purposeful, authentic use of Indigenous education in science. Often, if Indigenous cultures are incorporated at all into the science curriculum, it is in a disjointed or superficial manner. These articles, however, serve to show students not only that Indigenous education is relevant to highly academic science, but also to show that it is useful in a modern global society.